Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stand-Up Sit Down. I'm your host, Nick Perdue, and today I'm joined by the Iranian mermaid, Ariel Kashanchi. Stay tuned.
You are now tuned in to Black Hollywood Live. Stand up, sit down.
There it is. There it is.
Love it.
Get a little,
I feel very at home.
Right? This is the
jam.
How are you, Ariel?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
I've heard a lot about you.
You have?
I have people have been talking, the streets. The streets have been talking, and I'm like, okay, well, I gotta see who this woman is. Saw some of your stuff. I'm like, okay, she's funny.
Thank you.
She is hilarious.
Thank you.
So let's dive right into it. For people who don't know your life, we're gonna dissect it from birth until right now.
Oh, all right. Let's do it. I better make it sound interesting.
A little bit.
I mean, I'll just embellish. You know, I'll just make some of the more boring things sound cool.
Exactly. Do the little comedic twist, you know, just a little sprinkle like Emerald, bam, and then it'll be
just like a little James Fry.
You're right.
There we go. Yeah.
So now, what was life like growing up for you?
Well, I grew up in the Valley.
Valley girl, huh?
Valley girl. I mean, the accent. It's like, I try to sound intelligent, but I have this accent. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's like, you know, when Southern people, when they drink, they become rednecks.
Right.
Like, I'm an 80s movie. Like, I am the cast of Clueless. But, yeah, I'm Persian. So my parents, I was born in Iran. And then we came here. We lived in Israel and then Kansas, of all places.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Very random for like,
right in the middle.
Like the most white, racist cornbread. Like they were like, "What are you Arabs?" And we're like, "No, we're not." They're like, "Well, I don't understand you." So we moved to LA. I grew up in the Valley. And my parents were really, for Persian parents, really liberal. Wow. Which it was cool because, you know, Persian people kind of, especially I'm a Persian Jew. So there's like a formula that you follow. It's
just a bunch of rules. It's nothing but rules.
It's like rule after rule after rule. And it's like this is what you're going to do. This is what your life is going to be.
Right.
So my parents were pretty good about encouraging me to think outside the box a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. And it was good. And, you know, a lot of Persian parents, they want, I love my culture, but you got to kind of blend in. You have to assimilate. So a lot of, you know, the emphasis is on, you know, be pretty, find a husband, and go shopping with your mom all day once you're married and you've got like these kids.
That's the life right there, right?
I mean, I guess, but I just that never really appealed to me. I was always big on being intelligent. Like that was like my thing. Because even if you're attracted, I was not a cute kid growing up. Like I was like the kid where they're like, you know.
Oh, she grows out these looks.
Yeah, you know what? You're smart. It's cool. It's cool. You're smart. It's gonna work out for you. I graduated from high school when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I skipped.
But did you start early or you just accelerated through it?
Well, I started early-ish.
Okay.
This is so Persian. My parents changed my birth certificate so I could 2 months earlier, so I could start school sooner. Okay. And then I skipped 11th grade.
Jesus.
And it was a breeze. If you go to public school in LA, I
didn't skip 11th grade.
Did you grow up out here?
Yeah. Well, but I didn't grow up in the Valley though, so that's what it is. The
education system in the Valley is very low. Not only did I graduate at 16, I graduated with 5 extra credits.
Jeez.
With I was taking the minimal amount of classes and but I did that and then I started college and then I got accepted to law school when I was 19.
Wow.
Yeah, which
that's the path though, right?
I should not be living in Hollywood. We were just talking about I walk over 3 homeless people to get to my front door every day. It's so
that's all of the glamour that people think about when they
they're like,
oh, you live in Hollywood, yeah. Right. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, I probably should have. I dropped out of law school, but
Why? Like, what caused that? What was that?
I don't think I ever wanted to be an attorney. My parents were like, you know, we know the dean of this one law school, and we, you know, if you just take the LSAT and do okay, we'll get you in. And I did really well. Yeah, I know. I hadn't even finished undergrad. I was in the 90th percentile on the LSAT.
Jeez.
Yeah, and here I am now.
Wow.
Here I am now.
You didn't want to be like Practice. You didn't want to be like Jag. You didn't want to.
No, I mean, no. I never wanted to be an attorney. And the whole thing was, I think that my parents wanted me to go to law school so that I could find a better husband. It was like implied. Right, my mom was like, you get that JD, but you don't have to be a lawyer. You just maybe go work out a little bit. Like, it was, you know, it was like to ensure a better future for me.
Right, and they want grandkids and this and that and the whole nine.
Yeah, and so they were hugely disappointed when I dropped out a month in.
Wow.
Yeah.
A month in.
I mean, what 19-year-old has business? You know, like being in law school, I was like, this is just not. It was weird. You know, everyone's much older than me, and
yeah, you are literally the baby.
Yeah.
Everyone's going out drinking, and you're.
Yeah, I'm like, no, wait, let me get my fake ID. Fingers crossed, they let me in. You know, it wasn't.
It's okay because
fun.
they're all gonna be lawyers, so you know, like if anything happens, then like I'll, you know, bail me out of jail or something.
It's true. It's
right?
true. I would have had this good network of like. Yeah.
You could be young, wild, and reckless. Not even past law school, but you have all these attorney friends now that you know just help you out of your.
Man, I missed out.
You missed out.
I should have stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
But now back in high school and like middle school, were you like a class clown or were you like one of the mean girls or what was going on?
No, not at all. I mean, I was nerdy and shy and like awkward, like so ridiculously shy. Like my voice would crack when people would talk to me. Like I was like, no, you know, like I was like, so it was like I'm like a completely different person now than I was back then. I just like, I could not, I was, you know, there were all the cool kids and I was not one of them. I was the kid that people would copy off of for the tests.
Okay.
That's who I was.
Okay.
But then at the same time, none of this ever made sense. It still doesn't make sense to me how this happened. But I was friends with all these like gang members. I don't know. I think for them there was like the novelty of like, oh, we're hanging out with a nerdy girl, and I would like bring along some slutty friends. And then for me, I was like, oh my God, I'm cool. And they give me all this alcohol, which is great. And they all had cars, which I wasn't old enough to drive. So if I wanted to ditch school and I needed a destination,
right?
I mean, I would just like hop into someone's lowrider and like, you know, we'd be off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool. I mean, it was cool because I was like exposed to different things.
Yeah.
Even though I was the nerd, like it was not like a secret. Everyone's like, yes, nerd,
like,
definitely.
We know.
Yeah.
If your homework isn't done, tap Ariel on the shoulder because she did it.
Oh my God.
3 days ago.
This is like so bad. So there's a test you can take to get your high school diploma if you're not doing well. It's the California High School Proficiency exam. I took it for 3 of my friends.
Did they pay you anything?
One of them paid me. But the best part was that because you're a teenager and you don't really have real ID, your parents have to vouch for you. Right. So they would bring one of their parents who would show their ID, and then I would have to pose as them. Wow. So like all of my friends' moms were like, this is, you know, like I'm like one was like Russian. I'm like, I am clearly not Russian.
Pull your hair back, tie it in the bun.
I was like, duh. Like, so yeah,
wow.
I mean, it was like that level. Like I like taking tests.
Okay.
It's weird. This is the nerd in me. It's a big nerd personality thing. I don't look like it now, I know, but
you like taking tests. That's a fun fact now.
Yeah.
Do you still like taking tests?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any tests to take, but like.
I mean, like when you like buy cereal, do you like do all the things on the back, and you like buy those crossword books or the
Yeah, I'll do crossword puzzles. Yeah. Or like all those little games and stuff. You know, when you're on a plane and you need to pass time, I'll do that. I took. I mean, this is a few years back. I took the exam to get into Mensa. You know what that is? So I got into Mensa, which means nothing.
So technically, you could be a Mensa member.
I am.
Oh, you are.
Oh, yeah,
You're a Mensa member.
I'm a
What's
Mensa
your
member.
IQ?
I don't know. I know who to get into Mensa. Yeah, it's high.
It's high.
It's in the top 3%.
Jeez.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but all of that, and here I am. Like,
but let me ask you this though: do you spell words correctly?
Yeah.
So like when you're typing stuff in your phone, like you don't need the autocorrect. You just do it. Like you don't ever see red lines underneath anything that you're typing when you're like.
Well, I mean, I know how to spell it, but there's always typos that happen.
Wow.
Yeah. But
yeah. I feel dumb now. Like I just.
Do you?
Yeah, because you're in Mensa.
Yeah, but I feel dumb. Like it's like I don't even like to talk about it. But I'm like, well, whatever. It's kind of an interesting fact, but it's like. I should have invented something, you know? Like, I'm like, here I have this in mind. I can. I have some ideas, but comedy is a little bit more close to my heart.
Okay. So what introduced you into stand-up comedy?
It was something I always wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I work, my day job, I work in fitness.
Nice.
And so I work with a lot of celebrities and, you know, things like that, and, you know, big, powerful people. And I was training this actress, and she and I had become really good friends. Mm. And she's a pretty well-known actress. So she had a show on ABC for 10 years. She executive produced that was about her. She had another show that she was on God, I want to say, I think that was also NBC and then ABC. Anyway,
everyone's gonna be on IMDb right now.
They're gonna be like, who is this actress?
Yeah.
But so she and I were really friendly, and I would train her, and you know, every time I would see her, I would tell her about like either my sad dating life or my crazy family, like, you know, whatever was going on in my life. And it was so entertaining to her. She's like, you should be doing stand-up. I was like, okay, if she says it, that's it. That's all the confirmation that I need. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, cool. And I moved to New York.
Oh, wow.
To start doing stand-up.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
why did you move to New York? Like, why didn't you just start here in LA?
Well, I also kind of felt like I needed a change because I've lived in LA most of my life. I've lived here since I was, 4 or 5 years old. Yeah. And so I love New York, and I figure I might as well try it. I'm like, oh, the cost of living is high. I didn't realize how high. I mean, like, I was working 7 days a week, so it was so hard to do comedy and then work. And so I moved back to LA. And but I loved New York. I mean, it's so easy to get on stage there. Yeah. Like, there's just so many opportunities. Right. Yeah.
And they, like the scene is, but it's totally different than LA though.
It is.
You know, and I feel like New York comedy, like it's a little more gritty. Yeah. You know, and like if you're not funny, like people will definitely let you know, like. Yeah. You're not funny at all.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, I felt like people were a little kinder. I mean, I just think in general, in New York, people are kinder than they are in LA. Wow. And I know that there's a stereotype of New Yorkers being rude. And,
mean, and, you know, like all about themselves, and get out of the way if you're not going straight, you know what I mean? Like, don't slow me down. Yeah. But they're nice.
They're nice. Well, I think that they're more just direct. Like, they just cut to the chase. Right. Which is kind of what comedy is. I mean, you're telling a joke, you have to cut all the fat out and get to the point. Yeah. Otherwise, you're losing your audience. So, I mean, that's kind of, New York is the perfect environment to learn how to be like that. But I think that people are much more, you know where you stand. Okay. Whereas in LA, there's a little bit of, nobody wants to ruffle feathers.
Right. It's all fluff.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, and I am a very direct person, which is not always great because it gets me in trouble, but you know, if I don't like someone, it's very hard for me to pretend.
Well, which is good though, because you know, like this, especially like people in LA are so fake, you know, and like I said, people don't like to ruffle feathers, but like, you know, people can't grow if they're not being told what they need to hear directly versus trying to sugarcoat everything and trying to take care of everyone's feelings and try to be all PC and this and that. Just be like, listen, your shit is terrible.
Yeah. It's,
you know what I mean?
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice to just
just be real with people. What was your first show like?
Horrifying. I mean, it's the scariest thing in the world. If you know. Yeah. I took a class in New York.
Okay.
And so we did, you know, every week, it was like a 6-week class, I think, maybe longer, but every week we would do like longer and longer sets and then get critiqued and go through, you know, what we can do. And so for our show, we did, I think we had 5-minute sets.
Nice.
I only did 3. I was, and it's so funny because now in retrospect, I'm like, okay, I had all my friends there. Even if I was horrible, they were going to laugh.
Right.
It's not like, you know, I had all the support in the world. And so I went up and I did my set. And when I look back at it, I'm like, ooh, this is, you know, I would never want anyone to see this.
Do you have it on tape?
Yeah, I still have the DVD. Nice. Yeah. I mean, I won't watch it again because I'm like, oh God. I mean, just the outfit. I'm like, I would never dress like that on stage now.
It's always nice though, just to go back and look and see how far you've come.
Yeah, it is nice. I mean, what is that? I think it was Sarah Silverman on. I don't know what she was. She was in an interview and she was like, I like looking back and cringing because it shows me that I've grown.
Yeah.
So. That's a good
and just
thing.
what not to ever do.
Never do any of that stuff again. No, never.
So at 3 minutes, like, did you rush through all of your jokes? Like, were you nervous? Were you shaking? And
I don't think I was nervous or shaking. I think I did have a moment. I get on stage and it felt like home.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Especially first time out. That's nice.
It was really. I was like, wow. I mean, I'd been doing mics and stuff, but. It was like, I got on that stage and I had this moment where I'm like, oh my God, I'm home. And I never felt that anywhere else doing anything. And so it felt nice. And in the tape, you can kind of see it in my eyes where I'm like, oh. And then when I did my set, which was, you know, completely mediocre, but it was, I mean, yeah, it was a good first time. I guess an okay try. I mean, the fact that the words came out of my mouth.
Okay. That's the first step.
The words came out of my mouth. There were some funny-ish moments.
There you go.
Mostly cringeworthy, but you know, it was a start.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's ever gonna kill their first time on stage.
Right. I mean, they may think that they killed, but they didn't like kill.
No.
Right.
No. I mean, anyone who thinks that they ever kill is usually the most unfunny person in the room. Like, the hackiest comics will always get off stage and be like, I killed. And everyone else is like, were we at the same show?
Right.
What, did you not see the audience staring at you with daggers in their eyes? I mean, what is your definition of kill? Like,
that's funny.
But, like, I mean, yeah. And so I did that, and then I did maybe 2 or 3 more shows, and then I stopped. When I moved back to LA, because I was kind of like, what am I doing with my life? Why? So I kind of, the person who taught the class, I know he's probably not going to watch this, but
oh no, he is.
He probably is.
He's watching right now.
Yeah,
he's watching live right now.
He was like kind of a has-been comic.
Okay.
And
I mean, like, was he big at one point?
I think he was coming up at one point.
Okay.
And he was friends with some people who were big. But I think he also exaggerated a lot of his accomplishments. And
what are his initials?
JM.
Okay.
I just looked around. Like there's no one else in the room.
Just a bunch of cameras and like no one
like,
else
wait
here.
a second. Okay, hold on. I'm about to say something really
we
offensive.
have him here. He's gonna watch.
He's gonna come out. He when the class wrapped, he's like, I want to mentor you.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, great.
Yeah.
He sees potential in me. over time I realized, no, he's trying to bang me. And it was insulting to me. Like, don't say that you want to mentor me if really you're,
all late night sessions.
Yeah,
Come over my house.
Yeah, there was a little bit I was like, what? Why would I? No, go away. And he's disgusting too, may I add. Like,
wow.
He's like pushing 50 and morbidly obese. And I was like, why would you, and then I saw his ex-wife who was beautiful, and I'm like, how did he trick this poor woman? Maybe that's why he's so delusional. Because he would hit on all these hot girls, and I was like,
Game of numbers.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. But in his mind, I think he thought that I was dating him.
Oh, wow.
We would like meet at coffee shops and go through my set, but there were just things. So that kind of ruined my confidence because I was like, I don't know, am I really funny?
Right.
Because here's somebody who pretended he was interested in me, who is like, turns out kind of a charlatan, like exaggerated his accomplishments. It's so fun because he had like mentioned something a project that he was on, and I looked on IMDb and he was not listed on that project. Yeah.
Maybe his manager or whatever didn't put it up. You know what I mean? Or his internet wasn't quite working that day when he needed to upload it.
No. Let's.
Where the producers didn't give him the proper credit titles, like he was waiting, for that proper title.
And then you just send an email to IMDb that says, please add me on this project.
Right.
I mean, unless you're lying. I mean,
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah, when I wrote the last Star Wars movie, they didn't, for some reason, credit me. But I am one of the writers. Yeah. Head writer, actually.
Right. It everything went through you first.
Yeah.
What was your first bombing experience on stage like? Oh God. Okay. Well, the one that I can remember, I was doing a set and the audience was just, the girl before me went on stage and she, instead of doing a set, she was like, what do you guys want to talk about? Oh, it's the worst.
It's the worst thing. It's like, why are you so lazy? Have some jokes.
Right.
Do you think that they want to tell you your jokes? Like they're paying to sit here and they have a 2-drink, you know what I mean? Yeah. They're like, they don't want
amuse us, please.
Yeah. I mean, like, dance, so they were already irritated. So the energy in the room is low, and it's also a questionable room. It's when it's full, it's great, but when it's not, it's this it's called Inside Jokes. Have you ever?
Yeah. It's in the Man Chinese Theater.
Yeah.
And, it's like
so
you're
like
in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Right.
So if it's when it's a bigger room, the energy is kind of, you have to have it full.
Right.
Smaller room, it could have been. Anyway, so she's having this set, and so they hate her. She gets off stage. Host goes up, intros me, and then I go up, and I couldn't get the audience back. I mean, they hated me. I hated them. And I don't remember what I said because I have a little bit of a short fuse. I think I told them I hated them.
How early on into the set, though?
It was towards the end.
Okay.
It was towards the end. I was like, you guys are horrible. And I left. And not in like a funny way. Like in a way where I like, they were like, serious, please, like, yeah. And I had like, my cousins had come to see me. And I'm like, great. One time my cousins come to see me. I have this horrible, like, stink set. It was
none of your jokes were hitting.
Nothing. No. Man. They hated me.
They didn't boo though, did they?
They didn't boo, no.
They just were quiet the entire time.
They were quiet.
Not even a chuckle.
I don't think so. I think it was just like an even,
it's the worst.
Like a hatred. Just, I was like, okay. But I mean, now I know what I can do to get people back, and it all comes with experience, and everyone's gonna bomb. I mean, I've seen headliners bomb.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. It's
No, yeah, I mean it's all a part of it, you know, like it's a part of the process. Like not every single show is going to be a winner. You're not getting a standing ovations every single night, you know. Like there are going to be those times where people just hate you. As long as they don't throw anything at you, then. Has
that ever happened to you?
No, but I constantly live in fear of like I may say something that just may piss someone off that much that they'll like toss a drink at me or something. I'm like, okay, you know what? And then I'm like, will I even see it coming? You know, because that's the other thing. Is like, will you see it coming? Because I can probably catch it if I see it coming. But if I don't see it coming, then.
But what are they going to I mean, if they throw their drink, how far is vodka going to travel?
No, I mean, you think you're like the actual glass. Like if they.
Oh.
You know what I mean? They're like, nah, you suck. And they chuck this drink at you. That would suck.
That would suck. Yeah. I've never heard of anyone having that happen.
It would be a great story, though.
That would be a great story. Well, it would be a great story if you like catch it and then you throw it right back at them.
You hit an old lady.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole thing.
And then you're like, oops, sorry, I meant it for.
Yeah. And then everyone really hates you.
Yeah, that's a great way to win the audience back. I get heckled though, especially because I'm a girl. I mean,
how do you handle hecklers?
It depends. You know, if it's a guy, like men are so not men, but you know, there's always some misogynist in the audience.
Men.
Yeah. That's like, you're too hot to be funny. Like that's supposed to be a compliment. You know, something. You know, so I mean, whatever it is, I will. It's usually a hobbit. It's never like a hot guy. So it's so easy. I'll be like, stand up, and then he'll stand up because he wants the shine. And then I just. Whatever it is about him that I can say, I'll say.
And you'll just knock him out of the park.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, does this happen before you even start telling jokes, or is it like in the middle of your set?
It's usually towards the beginning.
And they just yell out just.
Yeah.
Now get off the stage, show us your tits.
I mean, no one's ever said show us your tits. It's more, I mean, or like sometimes I don't understand, I can't hear it, you know, because you just hear like a.
Right, you have no idea what they said.
And then I'll be like, say that again, because I'll know if it's a misogynist, you know, you can tell from the tone, so I'll be like, say it again, and they won't, and if they do, then I can have them stand up and, you know.
So do you think that women comics have it more difficult than their male counterparts?
I mean, there's the difficulties that, you know, everyone has their pluses and minuses. It's hard in that we're all sexual creatures, but you don't want to be looked at as that on stage.
Right.
So I don't like it when hosts call me pretty, because that doesn't apply to
what you're about to do right now.
I mean, like, I'm not a stripper. Like, I'm not going to get on a pole. It doesn't matter if I'm pretty. I'm not trying to be pretty. I want you to laugh at me. So for a host to call me pretty, it's insulting, and then it sets this weird precedent.
But like, do you ever say anything if a host does call you pretty, and then
I did a show once where the host was just so, like, you know, before you go up, the host, you know, as you know, they'll ask you, what do you want me to say about you? How do I pronounce your last name? Which you and I like had to like.
Kashanchi.
Yeah, we basically played charades.
Yeah.
But so, you know, this guy asked nothing about me. Didn't ask how to pronounce it. Nothing. And he goes up. And he was like, "Oh, this next comic is really hot." First he talked about how like there are all these girls who want to have sex with him, which obviously, I mean, that means they don't. And then he's like, "This comic is really hot," you know, whatever. And he just kept talking about my looks. I mean, like, this was like a 2-minute.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I'm like, why on earth would you do that? Right. Why would you? And then I get up on stage and I'm like, I know I'm actually funny. You know, we're not like, this is not Spearmint Rhino. Like,
right.
This is, I'm not gonna dance for you guys. It's just FYI. And maybe halfway through my set, he heckled me.
Did he really?
The comic heckled me. So then I was like, that's great. You just gave me my ammo because I'm already irritated with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, you know, I talked about how, you know, a guy who talks about how many girls want to have sex with him. Usually, I mean, I would say 99.98% of the time.
Unless he's that anomaly.
Yeah, but I mean, well, yeah, like the kinds of that's somebody who's like his identity is being the hot guy, and he wants to remind you. But it's usually the guy that girls are like, please go away, please go. Why are you on my doorstep? That kind of guy. So yeah, but I do think that what's easier about girls is that statistically there are less female comics than male, and most of the time when you're putting together a lineup as a booker, you want to have a girl on the show. Yeah. So you don't, which is like a plus and a minus. You don't have to be as seasoned, you don't have to be as good to get on these shows. Right. Because they just want a girl. And it's a smaller pool to draw from. But then at the same time, because of that, they're putting less experienced girls with more experienced guys. So then we look less funny.
But now, like, do you think that also helps you, though?
Well, it helps me get stage time.
I mean, but like,
do you
when
mean being a girl?
No. I mean, just like being a stronger comic. You know what I mean? Because like, all right. So let's say if you're doing a show, and you have these vets that are just killing it, and you're like, okay, like I'm up next. Yeah. Like it almost kind of makes you want to raise your stakes, you know, and kind of and realize, So I feel like it's go one of two ways, right? It can either be like, okay, like, well, she's terrible, or it'd be like, hey, she's funnier than I thought she was gonna be. Or you can be like, yo, this chick just killed it. Yeah. I didn't mean to say chick. I sound misogynistic.
No, it's okay. No, I don't think that's misogynistic. I mean, you know, like I can see this guy, this dude, or whatever, you know. Yeah, but it does kind of. I mean, it's also like, I think being in LA. Being surrounded by all this talent makes you have to rise to the occasion. Yeah. When I go do shows in smaller markets and I see some of the local comics do their sets, it's not as strong as the comics out here. And it's only because they're not exposed to it. Like, I mean, I can go to the Comedy Store any night of the week and see legends perform, and they don't have that luxury. I mean, they can watch it on TV, but it's not the same. No. And they're not always on shows with these amazing comics. Right. So now, but do you think that women have to prove something every time they get on stage? Yeah. Like, do you feel that way, that you have to like prove like I have to prove to these people that I'm funny? Yes. Wow. Yeah. And I mean, not in like a woe is me, I'm so hot that I can't. I mean, I just have to be ugly. But you know, I think that they see a girl go up and they're like, the stereotype is, okay, here's some girl who is like mildly funny in her group of friends, and she's gonna go up and try to, you know, and talk about dating for 10 minutes, and talk about how every guy's after her, like the guy who thinks every girl's after that.
What is your joke writing process like? Like, where do these ideas come from?
Life. Yeah. I tell mostly stories. That's nice. So, you know, whatever's going on in my life at the time, or something that kind of I think is interesting from my childhood, or from, you know, whatever. But it's always based on truth, something that's going on. So something.
So you don't embellish.
I don't embellish, but I punch it up. You know, I'll write jokes throughout. I mean, I've been working on this bit. I went on a Tinder date, Bumble date, with this guy who was like one-hit wonder from the 90s.
What are his initials?
DB.
DB. I hope you guys are paying attention. I'm trying to help you guys out right now with these initials. You go on Google and all that fun stuff. DB. Okay.
DB. 90s or early 2000s. I don't remember when, but I remember his song, and so like, I mean, the date was hilarious.
Was it a good date at least? Did you go Dutch, or did he pay?
He paid.
Okay, so that's a check.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had known that he was polyamorous before the date, because I would have said no thank you, you know. But he like let me know early on, and then it was a karaoke bar. Wow. Or it was karaoke night, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I had no idea it was karaoke night.
Did he sing his song?
Well, the best
was he in the book?
His song was in the book.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I should just tell the story.
Yeah.
I meet him, and He's like, oh yes, blah, blah, blah. I just want you to know I'm polyamorous, and I'm like, oh great. Like, had I known, you know. But we're at the bar, and everybody there knows him. Like, I call it like Cheers for has-beens. Like Flavor Flav is in the corner doing shots. Like, and so everybody knows him. So he obviously knows this place.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's karaoke night. I didn't know. Did you? I don't want to subject you to this, but do you want to? I mean, if you want to leave, I understand. Should we go elsewhere? I'm like, no, asshole. You chose this place for a reason. I know what you're doing now.
Yeah.
You know, and you're sticking me
play
with
to his strengths,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly. But and I would have been like, oh, that's cute. You know, he wants to impress me. Had he not told me that he wants to have 8 girlfriends at once, and, you know, he's like looking to add to his harem, and so he's like, do you want? I'm like, no, okay, let's just stay here, you know. And then he's like, well, do you want to pick a song together? I'm like, sure. So we're going through the catalog, and I made sure he didn't know that I knew who he was. I Googled him beforehand.
Okay.
Not to be like, you know, not to like find out what his interests are and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna pretend that I'm into that too. But it was more I
safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to make sure, mostly, that he's not married. You know, because a lot of these married men will go on these sites or these apps and
terrible.
Yeah, so
and
it's
just be out here in these streets.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, like, don't waste my time. I'm gonna find out. You know,
right.
I will look for the tan on that finger. And so I Googled him, and I realized, you know, I found out that he was this, you know,
this one hit
wonder. And so
DB,
DB, and I mean the accent kind of. So we're looking through the catalog, and I see his song, and I'm like, oh, anything but this one. Like, I pointed at it. I'm like, do not sing this. This is what I play for my friends when I want to torture them.
Hilarious.
And he's like, oh no, definitely not that song. And like, he thought I was gonna pick like some kind of like ballad or like a power, you know, something to really show off his vocal stylings. And I was like, I think you should sing Ice Ice Baby.
Wow.
A, because fellow has-been, so he's, you know, he's in good company. And B, because to see somebody with a British accent who is like, I mean, obviously Vanilla Ice is white, but to see somebody like that attempt,
right?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
That's so. Do you have video
of him singing?
Yeah.
No, I should have recorded it.
Great. That would have been great.
I
Sell it to
know.
TMZ, and now you made $200 on that date.
I mean, I think they would give me like
like
a $5 gift card to Starbucks.
But if, you know, Harvey would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it would have entertained them.
Yeah.
For a minute, but they're like, nobody cares about this guy.
That's funny.
Yeah. That was,
wow.
Yeah. So that's like a bit that I do now, and I talk about my whole like. I mean, I try to stay away from dating, but like the online dating, like apps and stuff. Like
the jokes write themselves.
Yeah, they do, and it's like. I always look at these apps too, because I now have like a decoding system. Everything that they say, I have like, this is what it actually means.
Right.
Or like the pictures that they choose, you know.
Yeah, because it has to be, you know, their best light.
Well, yeah, but it also like it's like a code. Like if somebody says work hard, play hard, that means he reads at a 5th grade level. Like he's not gonna be smart. He's gonna have an armband tattoo, wear Axe body spray, you know, live with multiple roommates. Maybe like
LA
6 roommates.
Expensive.
It is. But work hard, play hard. To me, I mean, who says that?
I mean, if you're in a band or something, and like that's the tagline, like, yeah, we're the Thrashers, work hard, play hard, or something. No.
I mean, if it's like 1992, when people still talked like that, but I mean, to say work hard, play hard to me is like a sign of.
No, not your cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea.
Have you found any success on these sites? Or now do you just use them for like bits now? Like you're just like, I'll go on this date. I need a couple jokes. Let me, live a little life.
I mean, no, I would love to meet someone, like a real person that I could date.
Mm-hmm. Would you though? Or are you like, let me date someone so I get more?
No,
more jokes?
I'd rather not. Like, I don't, because I feel like that's so contrived too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't like just things that happen. Because I feel I have enough chaos around me for it to always be, there's just new bits that keep writing themselves. But I use that, I mean, I'm kind of like, I'm so disenchanted with them. Because it's like, I'm I could spend that night. I have so little free time. Like I could spend that night forwarding my career or catching up with friends that I never get to see.
Right.
Instead of sitting at a bar with some guy and I'm like, oh God, he really, why? I just don't, do I? Why does he smell like that? Is he bathing in garlic? Like, you know, that kind of thing. I'd rather meet a guy in person, but that doesn't happen anymore.
I mean, it does.
How'd you meet your girl?
I've known her for years. I've known her for 10 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
That helps.
It was on and off thing. Like it's been a roller coaster, but you know, this is it.
Okay.
Like
now
the
you're
last,
on a
like
steady
the last
flow.
Michael Jackson thing. Yeah.
The last Michael Jackson.
The last
thing.
Michael Jackson movie was entitled "This Is It." It's such an obscure reference that people got it.
I love, but that was like, yeah, I guess he was cool in that movie. Like he didn't seem like he was depleting and like
like he was on the edge of death.
Yeah, because didn't he passed away shortly?
Like after
that.
Yeah. I mean,
that's really
that's a totally different conversation.
Best reference, to use somebody who is no longer with us.
But he was a legend.
Or unnatural. He was. He was great.
But he was a legend. So yeah.
I would have used like something more like Off the Wall or like something where he was in his prime.
Thriller.
That's a good one. Yeah, you should call your relationship a thriller.
It's a thriller.
There you go.
No day is like the last.
There.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. She will enjoy that. She will love you for that. She'll be like, Nick, you need to like you need to get it together.
She'll be like, why are you comparing our relationship to death?
I liked the movie. It was a good documentary.
No, it was good. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
you see that backup dancer, was it the backup singer that everybody was like, oh, she's gonna be the next big thing, and she should have been. Do you remember the girl? There was a girl.
She the one with like the crazy hair?
Yeah, I think so. They did the "I Just Can't Stop Loving You" duet.
Oh, okay, yeah,
she was amazing.
What happened to her?
I don't know.
See?
I think she was in that 50 Feet from Stardom. Yeah.
If he would have, if
he would have still been alive, that girl would have had the career.
Something.
I know.
Yeah, but it is what it is. What do you feel, or how do you feel about like a lot of people labeling female comics as sex comics? Because like I've seen this term tossed around, especially like with like Amy Schumer and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of women whose I guess a lot of their sets do primarily kind of stay within the like, oh, my vagina this or this and that, you know what I mean? But they get labeled sex comics, but you don't really see a lot of male comics.
They never call a guy a sex comic.
Yeah.
I think people are still uncomfortable with women talking about sex, and it shouldn't. I mean, it's. I think that'll change over time, but yeah, I mean, it's like people call Amy Schumer a sex comic, which is funny because that's like 30% of what she talks about.
Right.
She's, her bits, there's so many non-sexual bits that she does. And I mean, if you watch, her show, it's all about social, what's going on in society.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a double standard, but it's one of those things that over time, hopefully, people will start seeing that, no, men and women can talk about sex equally. It doesn't make the woman a whore.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you been labeled a sex comic?
No. I've been labeled a bitchy comic.
But, bitch is kind of funny, though.
I don't mind being bitchy.
I mean, as long as it's funny, then you're like, okay.
I mean, I am, I guess, a little bitchy.
What about catty?
No, I'm not catty.
You're not.
No.
You just like cats.
I love cats.
What is this obsession with cats?
It's so, there's actually there's a chemical in their body. I don't remember the name of it's like a disease that you get.
Okay.
So it gets in your body and it creates an obsession with cats.
Really?
Yeah. And so I have whatever that is. And
how many cats do you have?
I have one right now. I had two, and one of them passed away, and I want to get a second one. But I want a curly-haired cat, and those are very hard to find.
I've never seen a curly-haired cat.
There's like a breed where it's called Selkirk Rex, and they have like this amazing curly hair, and they're really cute. Yeah. So that's what I want.
Okay.
But I mean, like, it's just, I love cats. I think that they're intelligent and they're not needy. I think dogs are adorable, but And my cat she needs a lot of attention. So she likes being pet and played with. But there's something about she's not going to come drool at me. She's not going to want my food anymore. She's learned that she's not going to get any. But I like that they're kind of intelligent. They're diplomatic. If a cat senses that you're not into them, they don't want to engage. They're like, I'm cool. Like, I've got other options.
Yeah. I'm gonna go nap over here on this couch.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna scratch something while I stare at you.
I'm gonna walk by against the wall looking at you as I go to my food.
Yeah. That's my cat. Like, but like a dog doesn't really, they don't get it.
Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, like, let me hump your leg. I'm like, no, please, like, buy me dinner first. Like, but a cat they're a little bit more. They're just smart about it.
Yeah.
They use litter boxes. I don't have to take my cat for a walk.
It's true. But I mean, like, do you have this fear of like ending up as like a crazy cat lady though?
I'm okay with that.
Really?
Well, I mean, I just think.
How do your parents feel about that though? Like, will your parents feel like, oh my goodness?
Well, I mean, they do make fun of me, but they're also obsessed with my cat.
Okay, so then that's
they're cat people. Yeah. We like FaceTime.
That's creepy.
That I have my cat FaceTime with my parents.
Yeah, that's a little creepy.
Well, my cat, not to say that I have a special cat, but she's really vocal. Okay. So she meows a lot, and if you talk to her, it's almost like you're having a conversation.
So she'll talk back to you.
Yeah. And so it's really cute, and because of that, she FaceTimes with her grandparents.
Okay. All right. Remember, she is on Bumble, guys.
My lead picture, my picture on my main picture is me and my cat on Bumble.
So people already know. They're like, okay, So
it's a professional picture.
No, it's
of
not.
me and I swear, I'll show you.
Oh my goodness,
it's spectacular.
What is the biggest thing as we wrap up? This is the last 2 questions.
Okay.
What is the biggest thing that you've learned over your career thus far?
That I don't know anything.
Wow, but you're smart. You're in Mensa.
Sure, but I mean, I have the wherewithal to know that there's so much I need to learn, and it's a complex industry, and it's something that's changing with everything that's you can do so many digital things. So, I mean, I just don't know anything, which I like,
right?
Because it's so much more interesting.
Yeah,
there's so much to learn.
Yeah. What's the biggest piece of advice that you would give someone who's like, hey, I want to do stand-up comedy?
It's not as easy as it looks, and it's just perseverance. You have to keep going.
Yeah.
You're not going to be funny right off the bat. You have to really hone your craft and watch stand-up and go to shows and get as much stage time as you can and write and rewrite, and just you're always going to be a work in progress.
Yeah. Now, if you would change anything, if there was a woman who was like, I want to be a stand-up comic, would you give her the same advice, and would you add something, or would you just say like?
I would say try not to lead with your sexuality. Because, you can flirt with a booker and get on a show.
Right, but you don't want to be that.
You don't want to be that person.
Right.
It's so much better to work hard and be respected.
Yeah. Let your work speak for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. To all of you out there.
See you guys.
Don't lead with your tits. Lead with your jokes. If you have tit jokes, lead with that. But
if you're getting pulled over and you want to get out of a ticket, do lead with your tits.
Where can people see you on stage next?
On
shows coming up.
Tuesday, I'm at the Dime Bar in Hollywood. Saturday, I'm going to be in San Diego at the Comedy Palace. Nice. And I don't know my schedule off the top of my head, but I post everything on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And
so what are all your links for everything?
So Twitter, it should all be the same, but it's not. So Twitter is Iranian Mermaid. On Instagram, I'm at Ariel's Not a Mermaid. On Snapchat, it's Ariel Funny. And Facebook, you can just find me on my, by looking up my name, Ariel Kashanchi.
And then on Bumble, it is.
On Bumble, you just see a lady with a cat and you swipe right.
That's funny. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. It was fun.
I had a great time.
I feel like we're best friends now.
I do too.
Yeah?
We should go for a hike.
No.
It's LA. That's what friends do.
Maybe like a kale smoothie or something.
Okay, that works. I'll take that.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, you can find me all over the internet at the Nick Perdue. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Never did it. I just downloaded.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.